Hi, this is Sarah Mikesell with the Cattle Site, and today we're here with Dr. Eric Moore. He is the Director of Technical Services at Norbrook. Thanks for being with us today, Eric.
Pleasure to be here. Thanks for having us.
Very good. And today, Eric and I are kind of tucked in the side corner here, the Norbrook booth, and we're at the National Cattlemen's Beef Association conference called CattleCon, and we are in San Antonio, Texas. It is warm where we are, and I'm loving every minute of it. So
Absolutely. It's cold back home, I know.
yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
We're soaking in the warmth every minute that we get. So very good. So what we're going to talk about today is right behind us. We spoke about Tauramox last year. What are some of the environmental benefits that you're seeing and hearing about from customers?
So with Tauramox, one thing that we found is dung beetle friendly, earthworm friendly.
Great.
And so what that means to the producer is the dung beetles aren't decimated and they have the ability to go down and break those fecal pats down. And that's really an important part of the whole ecosystem that we have. And as we've grown and looked in the past, I mean, deworming used to be easy.
Yeah.
We used to pour them and they'd be done and be good to go.
Right.
We're digging deeper now with AI and different tools. We're finding out what different benefits have and what those unintended consequences of the products that we've been using have been in the past. And we usually think about, we deworm cattle. We've been deworming them with the ivermectin since the 81 or 82,
right,
somewhere in there. And so those products, those compounds have been out there. We've been exposing parasites to them and cattle to them. And one thing we don't think about is that is passed through in the fecal material, and that will decimate the dung beetle as well. And so Tauramox is dung beetle friendly. It doesn't decimate that dung beetle. And when you look at what that does, that fecal pat that comes through, that dung pat, actually, number one, it gets the grass it falls on.
Yeah.
Number two, if you look at the area of that dung pat, research from the 60s show that 6 times that area, cattle won't graze there. Because the odor will last 2 to 3 weeks. That grass is maturing there, so you have that part. It doesn't get recycled into nutrients for the pasture if it's not broken down,
Right.
And it serves as a breeding ground for other pests like flies and things that are in there. So there's a cost there. What we've never done until recently with some research out of Florida is try to put an economic value on that, and so
Right.
now we're seeing there's a value to that. We're looking at the whole ecosystem, and it's taken the approach of, when we looked at pastures before, and I'm not a range scientist, I'm a veterinarian, but you looked at pasture before, we always looked at how many nutrients are we going to get off that pasture.
Right.
With bees and pollinators, they look at kind of the environment, the ecosystem services within that. So not just the nutrients, but what other factors work into that whole ecosystem. And so there have been some work with bees and pollinators. They went back and now looked at dung beetles and tried to model that and see what kind of value they can put on an eco-service along with the whole ecosystem. And what they're finding is finding more and more there's value there, and they're still exploring on how much value is there, but it's pretty significant in Texas, in Florida, in the initial work they did. So that's what we're seeing and hearing out there right now is there's a new way of looking at it. We're looking at the unintended consequences of our practices, and we're looking at it from a different view of a whole ecosystem to see what effect we have. We're looking at, because Tauramox is a dung beetle friendly and earthworm friendly. We have a whole line of dewormers that we have, which include Normectin, which is an ivermectin, Normectin Plus, which is an ivermectin plus chlorcelon that gets flukes, Epizero, which is prenamectin, all those the same class, and they have an effect on the dung beetle. So we have another option here that brings us a better way to manage that ecosystem within your herd.
Very good. And tell us a little bit more about Tauramox. Are there other benefits that producers should know about?
Yeah, Tauramox is moxidectin. It's actually a generic of sidectin. So if you look back and you look at the weight gain advantage you have with using sidectin, you're going to have the same advantages here, is what you have. This also has a residual activity, so that for certain parasites, it has a residual activity for up to 42 days. So you give it once and you have a longer effect, is what we have. And those are really the big benefits they have. And it's going to be at a better cost point. It would be more cost effective for your operations. So you get all that wrapped into a more cost effective package.
Very good. good. And everybody is trying to squeeze a dollar. I mean, I know producers are making a lot of money, but efficiency has still become the name of the game, right?
Absolutely. And so if you can both cut your costs, and then if you can figure out, we'll know more in the future, maybe not right away, about what costs you're saving on your pasture as well.
Right.
It really adds up in a quick way.
Very good. And where can people go for more information?
So they can go to Norbrook.com. They can, as always, I always say, talk to your local veterinarian, work with your local veterinarian, animal health scientist. Make sure you work within your environment,
Right.
with the experts in your environment, and do what's right for that. And we have a team of sales representatives out in the field, or if they get on our Norbrook.com, they can reach us through our tech service line as well.
Very good. Awesome. Well, thank you, Eric, for all the information today.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Very good. This is Sarah Mikesell with the Cattle Site.